Hey guys, Metalwood here, and today I'm bringing you another high-level Halo Wars commentary. This game on Terminal Moraine was played about a month ago or so, and it's been in queue for a while, but I just been busy. It was since like April 17th, I believe. But at that time, I was starting to approach closer towards finals, and I was still working out, trying to get my summer plans under control. Still really trying to work that out, trying to get a job in the area, and I'm going to be living home for the summer. So if you've been following me on Twitch, you've noticed that I haven't really been streaming since, well, since the beginning of May, since I've been home, really. And that's because I've been playing mostly on the TV in my room because I have a wireless adapter. And so the TV in my room is a standard definition TV. It means that I have no input lag when I play. Although the picture doesn't look as pretty, it does allow me to do things a lot better on that TV than I would be able to do on an HD TV. You can get the same effect if you were playing on like a computer monitor or something like that. Both the computer monitors and standard definition TVs are going to have the lowest input lag for you, and which will make it a lot easier to do things like actually recall your arbiter directly, being able to click on your teleport pad, or being able to split hogs effectively. Now, in this game here, it's just an Anders Arbiter mirror on Terminal Moraine, and with Terminal Moraine, it really is such a gauss map. A lot of times, I will end up playing gauss and canny when the other team is going for team's going for tanks, just because being able to on maps with reactors and hooks, gauss is really good at being able to help take control of those. And when you have reactors on a map, it's really easy for your Covenant teammate to be able to get into those reactors and tech up to sacrifice banshees, which are very effective at dealing with basically everything, including gauss. So in this game, I'm a bit behind. I saw their hog. I went into rage mode, but I didn't adjust to tell my arbiter to continue walking to the base. Now his hog is going across the map there, and I was able to kill it with my arbiter. So by being bad, it turns out that I was able to actually catch a hog, which I believe will definitely benefit us in the long run by being able to do more damage over time. However, typically that's not something you want to be doing. You want to get on offense as soon as possible. I just send my grunt after his hog, trying to kill it. Just want to try to be annoying as possible, and be able to get as much damage done as I possibly can. Now the thing is that they had Gunner way before we had Gunner, so I'd imagine that they went for a reactor probably third. Actually, third? It almost seems like it was second, just because of the timing relative to when my pads were coming up. It's possible that he just went for one less hog though than LH did. And it also comes down to roughly the amount of crates you're able to collect, but LH has shown us good hog micro there and is able to keep his weak hogs alive while being able to continuously do damage to the base. And at the same time, they only have one hog on offense, so by us having 4 hogs on offense, they only have 1 hog on offense. Their arbiter's going to have to recall at some point here, because otherwise he's just going to get his base stripped when he's already ahead of me. So in this particular situation, it's this beginning of the game in Anders Arbiter Mirrors is actually not that important. It really isn't. I've had games a lot of time actually, where I guess we fall behind in the beginning or something like that, and I'll just click my covey to rage down hogs, and then I'll just have a hog lead. It really comes down to who has a hog lead and a D-bomb. And when I say a hog lead, I mean a significant enough hog lead. Because you need to have enough of a hog lead so that you can throw a D-bomb and the other team's not going to be able to force you out of it, or be able to kite you so you can't do any damage with it. But this usually happens around the time you're hitting up to Gauss. You'll get Gauss, or even a lot of Grenadier, and a D-bomb can be very effective. But you don't want to be throwing D-bombs in the middle of the map just to kill a leader. You usually want to be throwing them on a base. And since you have hogs, the other team really can't force you to throw a D-bomb, as opposed to when you have tanks or something like that, where since the tanks move slower than the arbiter would be able to catch them, and you'd have to D-bomb because you wouldn't have a choice, or you'd lose all your tanks. But hogs being very mobile, or you can easily split them, and either just straight up run away, or just be able to continuously do damage in one location while the arbiter chases hogs off in another location. So their arbiter's recalled, and he is chasing after us, and we're just going to be able to continue. I mean, I'm still on offense. That's the good thing. I am behind on pads, but since their Arbiter recalled, our hogs can go back and then fight any hogs that they have, and I'll be able to try to get more pads going. I am definitely behind though. This really just started off for this whole part of me being behind is because he went right over to my base and I did not go right over to his base. I got a bit sidetracked by one of the hogs, but more importantly was what happened initially, where I tried to go into rage mode to go after a hog, and then didn't tell my arbiter to continue walking across the map because I wanted to get to the hook first. It was going to be try to be the more important thing there, since I had not pelican, but I didn't even get the hook, so it just puts me in a really tough spot. Now I'm building another suicide grunt instead of focusing on another pad because I know that I'm behind. I'm behind. There's no other way to say it. I am just behind. But if I can continue to waste my money to put him behind to make him really poor, then neither of us are going to be able to help our UNSC out. So basically, if I can't help my UNSC out, neither can you. He's got a few weak pads. You generally don't want to be using suicide grunts to run them into building pads since they cost 160 and a building pad costs 100. We do have a hog lead because they keep throwing away their hogs at our hogs, and that's definitely good for us. But I do have a grunt on the base. The thing is, okay, when you throw a suicide grunt into a building pad, it usually only uses 2 of the grunts. But sometimes, depending on the positioning, like I know next to the back middle pad on those 2 corner pads there, you could splash against the main base really hard. And if the grunt is on the pad, like when it's building, like already in the pad, then it'll use all 4 squads, and it's a complete waste. And it's just something. It's a bit risky to be using grunts. It's a bit risky to be using suicide grunts to deny building pads. We have gauss because we went for gauss relatively early, and we do have a double base up. They are still on grunt. They only have 1 hog on my base. We're equal on pads now, but he still is ahead of me because he does have Citadel. But me being able to be on offense this entire time, despite not really being able to do much damage just because I'm non-fiendish, it's definitely good for us just because I don't let him keep getting farther ahead of me. And we do have a hog lead, so we should be decent in terms of our positioning in this game, because we have a hog lead and no one really has too much money. But when it really comes down to it, we can just go over, we can throw a D-bomb, and then that should be enough to do critical damage and end the game. But that's just the nature of the matchup. It's kind of silly. One of the downsides of playing Android Arbiter is definitely that Gauss Arbiters are what I would refer to as really stupid. A lot of people don't play them as often, so they think they're kind of fun, but they're really not. Because a lot of times it comes down to the Arbiter, like the unkillable Arbiter, and it's just like not being able to ram effectively and all the good stuff. And that's why I don't really like Labyrinth. Doesn't mean I'm not good at it, just I don't like the map just because it is all Gauss Arbiter mirrors. Okay, so I'm doing good damage, and when I say good damage, I mean I'm just keeping down his pads by raging them before they build, while I'm getting pads up on my base. I still don't have Fiendish, which kind of sucks. And I want to try to upgrade some pads so that I can get going. So I go to recall, and alright, I recall, and so I have my Arbiter back with us. I'm still on keep with no upgraded pads, and it really sucks. But it's kind of something I'm kind of unfortunately forced into, just because I got stripped so hard early on, and now I want to get Fiendish. Usually want to upgrade your eco, but if they come over and push and I don't have Fiendish, we'd probably be dead, because if they have Fiendish and I don't, I'm going to die really quickly, and their Arbiter's just not going to die. Simple as that. We should have a hog lead, so we should be good. Now I'm trying to get my eco going. We were discussing in this game whether I needed Citadel or Fiendish initially, and we were like, well, It's not like they're gonna be able to like kill my base if I'm, if we're just here with our units. We're gonna fight anyways. And it's yeah, Fiendish turns out to be the right choice there. They do try to come and push, and we're just there to fight. So my base isn't really in danger as long as my Arbiter's alive. So that's where that thinking comes in. So I'm just trying to get my eco going. You want to upgrade about 3 pads, and then you go Citadel is the best way to get your eco rolling. Citadel before upgraded pads. Although one more pad is better than one upgraded pad in terms of what it does for your eco, 3 upgraded pads is better. Is better than one more pad. Just because of that's the trade-off. That's kind of how it works out with why you would go Reactor 4th as a UNSC if you want the best eco. And with Covey, usually you don't really end up going Temple 4 just because of positioning on the map for crate collecting or like timing of being able to build Suicide Grunts in time. The difference between the Covey and the UNSC in that case is that you can always be building hogs even without a reactor, but you need to have your temple up before you can start making the unit out of your main base. They do have the good hook, so they have that reactor still. I don't know if we jumped into the reactor or if we just built gauss manually. I'm not entirely sure what we did this game. But we are looking to be in a pretty good spot. We're just clearing out more these back rebels there for a bit of cash. I'm walking around because I know there's a pile of money down here if no one collected it. So I find that money. We're all good there. And, it seems like a pretty standard game so far. And with this, we're thinking like, all right, yeah, we should be good now that I'm back into this and I'm getting my Arbiter teched. I have my Citadel. I'm just gonna build more supply pads. I'm not sure if I'm gonna shield right away. I think I am gonna shield right away. I think I should shield right away. Just looking at the game right now. I haven't played this. I haven't seen this in a while. But I might actually not shield just because I was so far behind and I want to try to get a quick lead for a bit. But a shield would definitely is something that's definitely an advisable decision. Being as hogs and arbiters can definitely strip your base pretty easily. Yeah, I do go for the shield. That's correct. So when there's a lot of gauss on the floor, you generally want to be shielded. Even because you get out of position for a minute, you lose a pad instantly, or if their Arbiter gets up to Tech 2, or get Tech 2, then your base is going to get stripped. And if you even if you guys both, so say they come into pushing your base, you're a little bit out of position, your base is stripped. And sometimes if they get a hog lead or anything like that, and they kill your Arbiter, you don't want them to be able to come and kill your temple very easily. You need to have the extra leeway of being able to stall for time on the shield. The next step for me would naturally to be building turrets to make it really hard to make it so that they really can't be able to defeat me if they really wanted to. There are 2 reactors on this map, so at some point in this game I'm sure I'm going to want to try to grab those reactors. That's one of the benefits of going Gauss, is Gauss is definitely very mobile and able to split off to many locations to help secure side reactors. So we're pushing up. We have a lot of units because we have a triple base of Gauss. I have my Arbiter, and we're gonna go in. LH is telling me he wants to cryo, so he said he cryoed. So we're gonna go, and well, a little bit mistimed there. Their Arbiter was caught out, but he was getting a heal. So we've now cryoed all of our own hogs, and now I'm raging at their Arbiter to try to help us out. Not quite sure we really have enough to be able to kill their Arbiter, especially since we lost a lot of hogs there, and now we killed their Arbiter, but we lost so many hogs, and they threw a D-bomb. Now, so I have a red bar Arbiter, so they threw a D-bomb so that I can't continue to turn the fight since they have a big hog lead on us now after that trade. I want to go send that Suicide Grunt that I'm building to go and get into that side reactor for us. Because once I get into that reactor, I'll be able to pay for my Tech 2 upgrades, which are very important in terms of helping helping my Arbiter out and be able to kill a decent number of hogs. And since they use their D-bomb, it's even better for me to try to go for that reactor, because then he can't even if I get up to Tech 2 really quickly, he can't D-bomb me, so he can't nullify the effects of me spending the 1100 to get my Tech 2 upgrades. and I'm just going to start queuing up turrets now. Because now that we are a bit behind in terms of hog lead, and the thing that they might want to try to do, they want to try to kill my Arbiter, and if my Arbiter dies, I need to be able to get it back out, because I can't let them have enough of a lead, since they already do have a good hog lead on us, to be able to come and then deny me from getting back out. I'm walking the grunt across the bridge. I'm just going to sack it into the reactor, if I can, to queue up my Tech 2 upgrades. The turret there is a bit annoying, and I think I got hit by some of the snipers there, which is pretty unfortunate, but it's just some of the nature of the game, and especially with that being a bad reactor, I'm just trying to queue my upgrades really quickly. So Vicious, and then Spiteful, and I'm trying to hop out and see if I can get away. A lot of times the sniper's close by, and it is right there. So my grunt does die, and that sucks, but I did queue my upgrades, and I just gotta be very patient with my Arbiter and try to wait for those upgrades, so that if I die, I don't have to wait for the upgrades to finish before I can rebuild. And I want my upgrades to finish, but they look like they want to come and push. And I've queued medium turrets to go up after my upgrades go up. But I gotta be patient and not try to engage right away, or be very cautious with my engaging. I do have Vicious now. I have Vicious and I do not have Spiteful, which means that I am very hard to kill. And they come over and they cryo all of our hogs. So not only did we cryo our own hogs, but they cryoed our hogs. So this is not good for us. I have a Tech 2 Arbiter. I'm not full Tech 2, but I am hard to kill right now. It is expensive for me to be raging like this, but once again, I'm pretty hard to kill because of it. So they have a significant amount of hogs compared to us. We're trying to kill their Arbiter, and I'm trying to get over there to help them, but realistically speaking, I think I should have just been focusing on trying to only kill their hogs, just because I do take a lot of damage, because while I'm trying to kill an Arbiter, I'm not killing hogs to get more health back. And my Arbiter does end up dying. Spiteful Rage did finish, so now I just queued my Arbiter again. I do have turrets at my base, so he can't come over to my base. My 3 turrets should be enough to definitely hold him back. And now we just gotta wait a minute for my Arbiter to get back out. He's got a lot of weak hogs, and I know that once my Arbiter gets back out, I should be able to come and kill all his hogs off. But LH thinks that it's gonna be too late, and we're gonna lose the base and be in trouble because we don't have very many hogs right now. Those are those are the only hogs he has. He has 4 hogs. They have at least 12 or so. It looks to me, and my Arbiter's got 30 more seconds. So their Arbiter didn't die. So they still have their Arbiter and hogs, and we don't really have very much, but my Arbiter should be able to come back out, and I don't believe that they have enough hogs to be able to kill my Arbiter, even with their Arbiter's help. I feel like they don't have enough health on their hogs that I could be able to kill that even if they're trying to rage me down. So LH wants to resign, but I don't think so. I think that I'm totally cool to take care of this. I have my Arbiter out, and I'm ready to go. And so we're going to go down there now. We don't have too many hogs compared to them, but we do have a good number. We do cryo, so that's definitely a good thing for us, because finally actually being able to use the cryo bomb effectively as opposed to cryoing our own units. And Tech 2 Arbiters are really hard to kill unless you have a minimum of like 21 hogs when you're like 20 or so hogs when you're trying to kill it by yourself. And if you're killing it, and if the other team also has units with the Arbiter, it takes even more, so it's pretty difficult. But we're able to crunch through their hogs, and even if they still have their Arbiter with full health, their Arbiter doesn't do building damage, and so with no hogs left, it doesn't matter if their Arbiter's alive. He's not going to be able to stay over here and keep the base down or kill the base. So I just send some rage hits on him to just try to make him recall a bit faster, because we want to keep moving. So I'm queuing us with that grunt, and I'm rage running over. I checked the time initially, and I'm going to try to go over to the bottom reactor and try to get up to my Tech 3 upgrades if I can. I'm just going to pay the 1,000 and be good to go with it. So I look at the timer. I see that I'm totally good to go across the bridge. I put the grunt on the teleport pad, but I don't want to teleport it in right now. I see one hog, and I find and by pure chance I run into all of his hogs. I was not trying to run into his hogs, I was just trying to go to the reactor. There's a lot of times where I do see people clearing bases and I want to try to pick them off, but it did not make too much sense to me why he would be over here with his hogs. And I believe this is 12 or so right here, was it? And then I think 2 more, so that was like 13. I think it ended up being like 15 hogs I killed there, which is good. That's good, you know, it's decent. No, it's really good for us, puts us in a good lead. And now, now even though I'm red bar, the bridge is down. So I'm pretty safe to be able to get into this reactor, pick up the money, and get a heal, which I like. So I'm just gonna pick up the money, and I'm just gonna pay the 1,000, and then queue up my Tech 3 upgrades. Their Arbiter wants to be back over on offense. I don't know why. I'm really not sure why he wants to be up there without his hogs. That just seems like a very risky thing to do. But I'm just gonna pick up all the money, and I did get a heal, which I like. You know, what's not to like about that? And I'm thinking about buying the base or going for my Tech 3 upgrades. Buying the base is usually a really good thing to do, because air is typically a lot more influential than that more upgraded Arbiter. Guys, don't get me wrong, Ghastly's good, but there's nothing like a full pop of repeating cannon banshees to help your teammate out. And I'm able to pay for Ghastly, and the bridge comes up, and I'm just gonna go rage back across. And it turns out that his hogs, I guess they didn't want me to take the base, so they come over and they throw a D-bomb at me for, in my mind, not a very wise D-bomb, but nonetheless they D-bomb me. And they actually get me stuck in a hog. So it's a good thing I didn't buy that base, or else they would have been able to kill it there. He does have a good number of hogs there. It looks to be about 12 or so. That's just me looking, eyeballing it. I didn't actually count. And they're trying to take the base. So I am a bit worried about that. LH figures that he wants to go try to kill their Arbiter, while their Arbiter's not with their hogs. I disagreed with that decision. I felt that he should have ignored that and then just used his D-bomb elsewhere to be more effective, like on a base at the other side, just to do counter damage. But it was his decision, and I felt he lost a lot of hogs doing it. But I did queue Ghastly. I do have to wait though for Ghastly to finish before I can get my Arbiter back out, because I'm not in that reactor anymore. And I make sure that he's aware of the rough timing of when their Arbiter should be back and when my Arbiter is going to be back. So this is quite a strange scenario in that they have that side base. I need a base, is what needs to happen. They're getting a base. I want one too. I always like having a double base as a cubby. It's very important. And as you see, when you're a lot of times in Anders Arbiter mirrors on most maps, you get stuck into the situation where you have to constantly spam Gauss or you're going to lose. Now, when I play, I try to eco a bit, so I usually get my eco going, but it usually happens a bit later in the game. So with me getting my eco going later, I'm able to try to switch into power turret a lot of the time. However, that accounts for the common situation where cubbies are stuck on one base. When you're on one base as Arbiter, you're basically forced into solo Arbiter, because you can't make enough air off a single and be able to keep up with Arbiter tech and raging to be able to be effective in an engagement. I have my Ghastly Arbiter. I'm going to run back across the map. So when the cubbies expand, they're going to be able to build a lot of Banshees, and you can't go and transition into power turret when the other team has a lot of air on the floor. So you're both basically stuck into Gauss, despite the Arbiters eventually getting to Ghastly, which really sucks, because it basically means that the Arbiters are going to be building these large turrets on their base and getting expansions and getting up to Tech 3 air units, such as Sacrifice or Vampires. Basically means that the Arbiters are going to become unkillable for the UNSCs, since the UNSCs are going to be stuck on Gauss. And it's going to be turned into a game where Arbiters are going to start taking all the bases on the map. and the UNSCs are going to get slowly but surely get squeezed out if it goes to the long game. I will say though, most games I end up playing in Anti-Arbiter Mirrors do not end up going this long. They usually end with some sort of just early game push on gauss because one team falls behind in hog numbers or so on and so forth. So I mean, I kill all the hogs, lost my arbiter, but we were killing the base at the same. We were killing the base while I was just keeping the hogs busy, and so this should be able to give us a really good lead in terms of gauss. But they do have that base up, so they're going to be able to get there. They should have some air rolling out soon, and since they have that, we know he had paid for his Tech 2 upgrades because he got his Tech 2 upgrades without a reactor, and we know that he paid for, and we know that he should have that reactor because he has that bottom base. So he's not only going to have his Tech 3 upgrades for his arbiter, but he should have his Tech 3 upgrades for air as well if he's already building those. And since he's had that base for a while, he should be able to build those. But I can't effectively make anti-air. I can't effectively make vamps off of a single because I can't drop my shield or I'm going to get my base stripped by the arbiter, and I can't and I don't want to put it under a shield because it's really expensive to be able to be able to keep up with making air units and raging at the same time. I never bothered paying for I never bothered paying for blinding. Okay, so with blinding, although you do more damage in rage mode and you boost the damage output of your teammates' units, and I'm not even sure exactly how significant it is. I know it does. I know it is effective, and it does matter a bit in late game scenarios with a lot of units. However, it does when it's just you versing hogs, you die faster because it's another rage upgrade. So for every rage upgrade, you do take more damage in rage mode. That's just the way the game works. It's one of the nerfs that was applied to the arbiter in some of the later stages of the game. I'm intentionally letting him shoot at that base because I thought maybe I'd be able to get it up and then recall to it and then be right on its hogs, and that'd be cool. But it doesn't end up happening that way. I want to go across the map. His arbiter starts raging me a bit, but I mean, he recognizes that that's probably not the best decision. And I did not really get the memo on this, that we were going to try to fight the arbiter, but the arbiter does recall because he is worried about us trying to double team him. Which I can understand that. But at the same time, I feel like he could have fought us a bit more and took him some hogs and then recall and got a heal. But I think what was actually going on is that he already paid for his ghastly and he didn't want to risk dying and then having to cancel ghastly to rebuild, which is definitely a smart decision. However, okay. So we're on 3 bases and they're on 1 base, which is really good for us. This game should be over. But what you're seeing now is that they have large turrets on their arbiter base. And their arbiter is ghastly, and it just makes it so it's really almost impossible for us to actually push in and kill him with gauss. You'd need a significant gauss advantage, basically no UNSC units at all, and then a full debomb, or even Covey units for that matter. But I'm just trying to get my expo up. Since he's on a single base, I'm just going to start raging down his pads. This is something that's a lot more cost-effective to do with Blinding Rage than with Spiteful. But even just with Spiteful, it is cost-effective. Blinding would help me do a lot more damage per hit, but it is definitely not necessary when it comes to raging down a base. He does have Blinding Rage, which means that if I were to just straight up try to have a rage fight with him, and when I say rage fight, I mean not also be hitting pads or hogs, just me and him, I should be able to win that just because I have less rage upgrades, which is actually the way it works for an Arbiter Mirror. It's really stupid, but it is one of the things to keep in mind. You do want to at least get Spiteful. A lot of times, though, you don't really bother getting Blinding, and that just comes down to being like late game Arbiter scenarios, unless you're maxed out. If you're maxed out, then you want to get your rage upgrade to boost your units. But in Arbiter Mirrors, a lot of time you have just like a Scarab and your Arbiter, and so that's just the way that is. And just to boost one unit like your Scarab, it doesn't really matter that much. We missed a cryo on those Banshees. Those Banshees are sacrificed, and we only have Gauss. And sacrifice Banshees are really good, especially when you have a lot of them like that. He was stacking them up. It's not something we're not too surprised that he has sacrifice Banshees. He does have that base, and I do have my base now, so we should be good. I was just trying to rush that base up as soon as possible. If I had gotten that base up initially, I would have already had Vamps, but because I did deny it once, it did take me a bit longer, but I feel like I will. I'm eventually going to get Vamps for us. once I get vamps, I feel like we'll be able to win. But for now, it's just gonna be able to a bit of a slower. It's going to slow down a bit for us because we can't really push into this. I'm trying to rage at these turrets for us, and we're gonna try to D-bomb the base and try to end the game. But they do still have a good number of Gauss hogs, and as you can see, they have the Gauss hogs on offense with the Banshees, so they have a lot more damage if they want to try to go for a base trade, and so that's why I recalled, try to prevent them from using that advantage. I believe we D-bombed their Arbiter on offense, but they still have these sacrifice Banshees. I'm really just trying to scare these Banshees away because we can't really hope to win a full base trade versus Sac. Sac's really good. The Banshees left, so I'm just gonna start walking around with my Arbiter. And they have way too many Banshees for us to actually hold a D-bomb, despite us having a major hog lead. Sacrifice Banshees do beat Gauss hogs, and this is definitely one of those things that I see a lot. I see this a lot when I play 1v1 as the Arbiter, because oftentimes I'll have a big cloud of Sacrifice Banshees, and people will still come and try to D-bomb my base, or even just repeating Cannon Banshees. They'll try to come and D-bomb my base, thinking that they can take me, and then I'll just kill all their units with my Banshees, and it just worked really well. It's also really difficult to kill an Arbiter, near impossible. When you're in Ghastly, it's basically impossible to kill the Arbiter when he's under his cloud of Banshees. The only ways to really beat an Arbiter in late game is with Max Pop Gauss and upgraded Cryo Bomb. Speaking of cryos, we just got cryoed, or with Hawks. Hawks can deal with Sacrifice Banshees, and in fact are probably the most effective way of dealing with Sacrifice Banshees, just because the Banshees can't shoot back with the Banshee Bomb. And for some reason the Hawk shots basically like chain through the Banshees for some reason. I don't know why they chain, but they do. They chain. It's really good. It forces the Arbiter to make nothing but vampires to try to deal with the Hawks, and even then Hawks can fight Vamps decently well. And then you just kind of switch into Power Turret. You switch back and forth between like Power Turret and Hawks, or you can get like Hawks and Wolverines and D-bomb, and you should be good. But that's just pure late game 1v1. In this scenario where both UNSCs are forced to stay on Gauss the entire time, the UNSCs are just kind of get squeezed out of the game gradually. As you see, my bases with shields are kind of hard for them to deal with. I had put 2 shields on that base initially because I was worried that if I had died, I would lose that base, and it was very important that I kept that base so that I can be building Vamps. We do cryo their Banshees, however, since I don't believe our cryo is upgraded. An unupgraded cryo will kill 3 Banshees, medium cryo kills 6, large 9, and super 12. And so yeah, that's right. You can lose 24 pop in a single cryo bomb if it's completely upgraded, which is why a max upgraded cryo is good at is one of the ways that you can beat Sacrifice. So we're able to kill some of the Banshees, and that's really good for us. And I have my Vamps building, and do I have Stasis Drain yet? I believe I do, seeing as I clicked on my summon and I didn't have the option to queue it up. And I'm just trying to get in position to be able to try to potentially catch any more Banshees. Oh, and I do find his Banshees here. But since I do have Ghastly, and I did just rage onto the Banshee, I don't know if it fully showed up to him that his units were under attack, because he hasn't quite moved yet. I don't know what he was doing here. But it's definitely good for us that we were able to catch even more of the Banshees. But now it just comes down to squeezing their UNSC out of the game and going from there, since we do have a good handle on the Banshees now. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to take that our UNSC third base again, just because they do have those Sacrifice Banshees and a Tech 3 Arbiter. But we will, if he's not able to take it, then I'll eventually take it for us, because I'll be able to have a max pop of vampires, and then just get more bases and shield them up. And that's how that goes. You squeeze the UNSCs out of the game. Entire Arbiter army, usually on a map like this, I'd probably just go pure air and just hit from range, since Vamps are decently difficult to rage down, just because they're they have a lot more health, and the potential for getting cliffed on some of the areas of this map is very high. But usually you'd get usually in the Arbiter the end all be all is like Scarab on the mountain. But it varies by game. All right, I'm gonna stop commentating here. I think it's pretty clear how this game goes. It was an interesting game, and I'd say interesting as in starting off with us cryoing ourselves and then them cryoing us. But I don't feel like I don't feel like there's too much else to really glimpse from this game. I mean, you really honestly, I feel like you could have skipped through this at different parts. The main thing is just that when UNSCs get stuck on Gauss, the Arbiter is the one that has to wear the pants in the end game, and just take all the bases on the map, shield them up, and build air. Cool. All right. See you guys later. Have a great day, and hopefully I'll be able to commentate some more videos. I'll see about streaming in the future. I can definitely bring my Xbox out to the other TV, hook it up, because I have a wired connection out there. I just been playing with my wireless adapter in my room because I like my standard definition TV. But if you guys really want me to stream, I'm sure I can. I can do that sometime. And I say I'm sure I can. I'm not entirely sure that I can actually, because I don't quite know if I have enough internet to stream effectively. In my room as it is, I'm quite far away from the router, and so I can't really even watch YouTube videos on my computer. So like I'll just go when I go on Twitch, I'll do it on my phone from my room. But I know that if I bring my laptop out to the other area where I would be playing, then I can watch everything just fine and the internet's decently quick. But once again, I don't know the consistency of upload speeds and all that good stuff. But I'm sure I'll test it out within the week or so, and hopefully I can start streaming again for you guys. I've been playing a considerable bit more 1v1 again, and I feel like I'm getting close to back to where I was. Not quite there, but I'm getting there. And it's been fun playing a variety of people throughout the month, as opposed to just having to play the same person over and over again. Barcelona came back, and that's good. And I don't know what, I think he maybe just finished the school year or something like that. Smooth Tube was on for a bit, and Captain Savior and I have been running some double Arbiter and 2 that's been kind of fun. So I'll just upload a bit more of a variety of different games, and we'll go from there. All right, see you guys later. Have a great day.